It's that flow, no, she my flow. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's that
Puerto Rico's hurricane destruction may have doomed the world's honeybees. It's a killer mystery without a killer. The astonishing die-off of honeybees over the past decade is a problem no one knows how to solve, but the key might rest in Puerto Rico, where the so-called killer bee spontaneously became gentle. This remarkable evolutionary leap could hold the secret to restoring the global bee population unless Hurricane Maria kills off these benign killers. The strange story begins around 400 years ago. When European settlers came to the Americas in the 1600s, they brought their bee colonies. Because North America has a temperate climate similar to Europe's, the bees thrived there. But other settlers and their bees went to South America, which has a tropical climate. There, the bees grew weak and became vulnerable to parasites and disease. For years, beekeepers wondered if the right genetic infusion could build a better bee in South America. In the 1950s, Brazilian researchers brought in a species of tropical bee from Africa that was carefully quarantined and introduced into an experimental breeding program. The scheme both worked and didn't. The catch was that they were tropically adapted and very strong, healthy, vigorous bees, but also very aggressive, Gene Robinson, director of the Illinois Bee Research Facility, tells Newsweek. The scientists back then said, well, we'll be able to control them, we'll carefully monitor and contain them and see whether we can diminish the aggression with selective breeding. Most read. Penis whitening procedure goes viral in Thailand. Penis whitening procedure goes viral in Thailand. SpaceX may have lost secret U.S. government zoomcraft. SpaceX may have lost secret U.S. government zoomcraft. Eric Trump says Ellen is part of the deep state. Eric Trump says Ellen is part of the deep state. North Korea hit own city in failed test, report. North Korea hit own city in failed test, report. Oxygen is disappearing from the world's oceans. Oxygen is disappearing from the world's oceans. That was not to be. In 1956, 26 swarms of aggressive bees escaped from their quarantine and bred haphazardly with wild honeybees. This mixing resulted in what Robinson and colleagues describe in a recent paper as the infamously aggressive, admixed, invasive, New World hybrid population of Africanized honeybees, now commonly known as the killer bee. Before long, the hybrids expanded beyond Brazil. By 1985, they'd hit North America, and by the early 1990s, killer bee hives were being reported across southern Texas. A bee that could withstand death by parasite could go a long way towards stopping colony decline. Ask any beekeeper if they'd like to have access to a population of bees resistant to varroa mites but also gentle, and they'd be like, hell, yeah. That's the holy grail, says Ambrose Aid, a geneticist and biologist at York University in Toronto who was not involved with the research. Researchers have tried using killer bees to fight mites, but their aggressiveness makes even simple steps, like loading them onto trucks, often more trouble than it's worth. Zaid agrees that the gentle killer genome might make that feasible. If we better understand the circumstances where the bees naturally evolve gentleness and can recreate them, there's the potential to have our cake and eat it too. Robinson and his colleagues on the mainland had extracted enough genetic material before the hurricane to continue their work, but nobody knows what future scientists will be able to do with that research. None of the gentle bees have ever been taken off the island. If they die out on Puerto Rico, they die out everywhere. There are other efforts around the world to breed honeybees resistant to varroa mites, but the Puerto Rican bees and their newly deciphered genome were arguably the most promising.